Back again with a new top 5. In today's video, we're going to be doing the top 5 best towers in TDS currently. Best towers in every single game mode for every single occasion quite imaginable.
Number 5.
Instantly spawning a party at the number 5 spot we have is the DJ at the number 5 spot. As you all know, I am a massive DJ fan. Literally, I use this man in every single one of my loadouts every single time I play TDS because of just the amount of benefits and bonuses this man gives to every single nearby tower. So, as you all know, before the DJ got the massive rework, he was a pretty good to a pretty critical and crucial character to actually have in every single game, especially with other teammates, because back then he could only increase range and have a discount all upgrade prices for towers. Later on, they decided to give a massive rework to this guy to where he essentially became literally the best support character in the entire game of TDS. First and foremost is they completely upgraded range and of course the discount, which they kind of nerfed it because now it just now went from a 20% discount to now just 15%, which isn't that bad. But they also added in a brand new ability, which is the damage ability. Permanently upgrades all nearby towers' damage as long as this red track is enabled. And of course, every single track has their own activation ability. Purple one, which is the range one, simply pushes back and slows down all nearby enemies in the DJ zone. The green one, the discount one, essentially gives money from any nearby towers in the DJ's zone. And then finally the red one, which essentially deals damage and melts defenses. Once you max this guy out to level 5, you will have all 3 of these bonuses all active at once, making this guy an incredibly crucial and downright very strong support character in TDS.
Number 30.
Sniping their way into number 4 spot is the Ranger. So as you all know, this man is essentially one of the best characters in this entire game of TDS. And one of the biggest reasons why is the insane damage this man does, and of course the immense range this man, hence the name Ranger. The first level is already doing 80 damage, and of course the more you upgrade him, the much more damage he literally does. Literally, this man does approximately 300 damage at level 3, the second to the last level. And you want to know how much damage he does at max? It is approximately 1,000, the most amount of damage anyone has ever done in TDS for just one shot, okay? 1,000 damage. And what's craziest of all is that you can place up to 7 of these fuckers, okay? 7 of these guys, which in total, with all the max amount of damage, means in total they do approximately 7,350 damage, which is completely bonkers. Like, holy fucking shit. They are disintegrating every single enemy that they literally place their scopes on. Now, the one hindsight that is kind of bad about these guys is that their reloading time is incredibly long. At max, it is 7 seconds long. However, with the good old-fashioned commander, this is reduced to around 5 seconds. And even better, with the DJ's damage boost, their damage is immensely upgraded as well. These guys are insanely good for pretty much having the reputation of being boss killers.
Number 7.
Flying their way into the number 3 spot is the Pursuit. As you all know, once you reach level 100, you unlock the Pursuit, one of the most greatest towers in this entire game. Back then, they were a pretty good-ish tower as well, but then they got an insane rework that made them incredibly good in this game. Once you've reached level 3, I believe, you unlock 2 different upgrades. However, you can only choose one. The top one is downright more expensive, however prioritizes DPS over one single enemy at a time, while the bottom one prioritizes explosive to multiple enemies, aka pretty much AoE. However, which one is better is a pretty no-brainer. It is just the top upgrade because single DPS damage on one enemy at a time is just incredibly good. But the best thing about the pursuit is, which I'm assuming you guys all know, is the chase ability. You can send the pursuit anywhere you want, anywhere you'd like on the map, anywhere, to the corner, to the center of the map, anywhere. And the best thing of all is that since you can literally place them down anywhere, you could simply have this guy fly over to essentially take down any fleeing enemies and or the bosses, especially the final boss, who has moved away from the area where all of your other tower resides. The pursuit tower is insanely good, especially to take down very beefy bosses.
Number 10.
Destroying everything in their path at the number 2 spot is the engineer. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, okay, you're just simping, like, Jesus Christ, at the number 2 spot, but I just cannot fight this urge, man, at all, especially when, come on, look at that. But anyway, jokes aside, let's go ahead and talk about the engineer. First things first is that at first, in the first few levels, they don't really seem to be that amazing. One of the things about the engineer that makes her incredibly unique to every other character in the game is that instead of dealing direct damage from their weapon, they instead place down a bunch of mini sentry turrets that actually deal the most amount of damage. And of course, the more you upgrade the engineer, the much more stronger these turrets get, especially with many upgrades and add-ons. And these turrets just go ham on every single enemy, and you can place up to 6 of these engineers. Altogether, they will just destroy every single enemy you come across. However, there is one negative to the engineer, and that is the turret, because you see, for any enemies that can actually attack and aka do like a stomp or a laser beam, these turrets will actually be destroyed, to which the engineer has to go ahead, deal some damage to raise them back up again. However, once you reach level 4 to an engineer, you unlock a bubble shield temporarily for every single turret. And quite honestly, this bubble shield really is a godsend, because imagine if those turrets just instantly got disintegrated and then the engineer just became extremely useless. But these bubble shields really just make these turrets so much stronger, especially when these turrets do literal rocket damage as well. But there's still one more character who is 10 times more stronger than everyone else.
Number 1.
Check this out.
I really don't like it that websites suddenly want me to use Touch ID and Face ID to log in.
For the best tower in the game by a long shot is the turret. Okay, I'm joking. It is the Gatling gun. First things first is, what does this man have that is so powerful and so amazing that he is literally the best character in this game? For the first few levels, this man doesn't really do that much damage. I just have to be honest, like, the damage is quite laughable. But once you get to the level where he essentially has a giant minigun with a shield, that's when it really starts to turn around. This man actually starts to do some damage. Level him up to this giant tank gun, and this is where he starts to literally obliterate every single enemy. But then there is another level after this, which of course goes down in history for the most expensive upgrade purchase in TDS history. $100,000. Now with the DJ's upgrade discount, it's approximately $85,000, which is still a crazy amount of money, but not as insane as 100k, but still an insane amount of money. But once you get that final upgrade, this man's rate of fire and damage is crazy. And much more amazing is you get to control this man, firing at every single angle you want, destroying enemies within seconds. This thing having infinite range and damage, especially with the many bonuses from DJs and commanders, will go down in history as the most insanely good tower, but of course,
Stupendous.
the most expensive, and is why not many people use them too often.